Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another Winchester Wednesdays. I am your host, Winchester 572, and I think we have done it. I think we have finally got a reading put together. Um, unless somebody leaves the last minute. So, yes. But also, I think I mentioned last week that Tick's van got stolen. She got it back, and it's not too horribly damaged. It actually was, the bulk of the damage was two blown rear tires and a scratched up airbag on the passenger side. So it runs and everything, and the key for the van got stolen, but that was just that key. They took it off of the key ring, which I don't understand why you do, but whatever. So, but at least she got it back. So, that's good. But, anyways, without a further ado, let us get into the call. And I am too tired to go and yell at things, so I'll just go and move over while I keep on talk over people. Hello, call. And I just left the call. I didn't mean to do that. Hello, call.
Oh no, Winchester's died.
Oh god, he's a zombie.
I'm a fucking idiot.
What'd you do?
Yay.
I left the call instead of unmuting myself.
Well done. We were wondering why you died, and then we thought you might have been a chemist.
Well, there are thunderstorms in my area, so I mean, me dying.
We were wondering why you died, and then we thought you... Because if you're a chemist, we'll try helium, and then we'll try curium, but then we'll have to bury him.
Oh, Lycan, I so don't miss
Oh
talking to
my
you.
fucking god.
Hey, at least it's chemistry humor. I actually enjoy that normally.
And I was expecting no reaction.
Oh.
Alright, I'm out.
Damn it, Lightning.
God damn it! Now I have to drive to Denver tonight so that I can put Forrest at gunpoint to do stream.
That's alright, she's back.
Yay, Forrest is back.
Let me just load up.
Load up the gun.
I don't think I need
Is
3
it-
bullets to kill both Lycan and myself, but, you know, better safe than sorry.
Yes, but in which order?
The other bullet is to dissuade Winchester from killing me before I kill you.
Dissuade. I love how that was worded.
Does that ever work?
Dissuasion by bullets? Yeah, quite frequently.
On rare occasion, dissuasion by bullets works.
I'm just so glad that Forrest has missed me with every bullet so far.
I think we all are.
Are we getting a call or what?
Alrighty, so we've basically introduced the whole cast already, but anyways, we'll start out anyway. Oh god, I'm still fucking tired. I woke up at 8:06 and went, "Oh fuck." So anyways, my wonderful co-host that actually make the show roll most of the time, our crazy Matt Captain Skyrays.
Hi. I'm dead
quickly
inside.
poking ponies so that I can put the phone down.
Put the phone down already.
But they need
Put the cookie
coloring!
down!
Put the cookie down. I'm stealing your joke, Forrest.
I don't know. We have Double R, our wonderful fanfic editor.
Last week I was but a measly retail worker. Now I work with the government. I don't know which is worse.
And his ego went through the roof.
The retail worker. Because with the government, you sit in an air-conditioned office or you sit in an air-conditioned truck and point at people and laugh while they do your job.
You know what? You're right. And I'm not even working for the government. I work as part of a contractor with that works with the government.
Oh, so you actually have to do work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, Double R got the job just so that he could deny my immigration request.
God damn it.
Well, technically, I'm supposed to be impartial as a representative of the government, but
But when it comes to you...
Speaking of supposedly needing to be impartial, We have forced rain.
I impartially hate all of you.
Hooray!
She hates all of us
Technically.
equally.
I have nothing. It's COVID. It's Corona. It's quarantine. There's absolutely no creativity left. Everybody that I've talked to is just getting fat from staying home and making food.
I'll blow the wind of God on you.
Life in the quarantines.
Hey, I can't say anything. I've been busier than ever.
Same. Basically ever since like a week before the camp out, I have been going nonstop, but I've finally like gotten like the last day to kind of relax and recoup from that, and then now this next like week is going to be, or these next couple weeks are going to be hellacious working on more shit. So
Anyway.
I'm casting.
Did we go
This
through all the
has been
intros?
fun.
I'm playing Halo Master Chief Collection, so it's been ported to PC finally.
no, we haven't made it through all the intros because Lycan kept throwing us off track. Here we have Lycan.
Ah, yes, I'm glad to be back. You know, I had a problem because I was addicted to the hokey pokey, but I turned myself around.
I think
That's
you've used that
that's
one
what it's all
before.
about.
Okay, should I
Yep.
kill him or?
I haven't had to pull this out for 3 months.
Hold on, I'm getting more bullets.
Here, take Lycan.
The worst case of suicide, shot 6 times in the back.
And
He's the one that's shaking it all about.
And now we're introducing something new. One of our new members of the Lycan hunting community. Here is Cinder.
Hi.
Something.
Hi, I'm busy as hell. And adorable. But, you know, busy as hell. No one gets to escape, everyone dies.
Yep. There's only 2 things that are certain in life: death and taxes.
And I have to deal with both.
Congratulations.
I think most of us have to deal with both. That's why it's certain. Unless you're an illegal Canadian spy. And last but certainly not least, we have Sora.
Wow. Okay. Hi, I guess.
Oh, don't worry, you get used to it.
Wesley's like, and on to somebody who's totally not a spy, Sora.
Yeah, really like the introduction there. Thanks.
Well, if you don't like it, make up a new one.
Oh, I can do
Wait,
that.
So
Hey,
Lycan's a
Sora.
spy?
What?
Sora, I heard that you were addicted to drinking brake fluid, but it's okay because you can stop anytime.
Jesus, I'm leaving.
Well, story's
that's
canceled. We
over.
don't have enough people again.
No, she's still here.
And that's the show.
I'm still here. Sadly, I'm still here. What's happening?
Alrighty. So, anyways, we've managed to stall for the entire 15 minutes before the show. So I'll let Forrest start us off here.
Hello. Tonight we are continuing our reading of Project Sunflower by Hoopimage.
Don't claw.
We have a whole fuck ton of roles. So CMC tonight will be reprising his role as Aaron, but also playing the Humane Society clerk. Double R will be playing Twilight Sparkle once more, as well as Lyra once more. Lycan will be playing Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, and Cashier. Cinder will be reprising her role as Maggie Henson, and will also be playing a security agent. Sora will be playing Rainbow Dash and Applejack. Sky Rays will be playing James, security agent and music store employee. Winchester will be playing Evening Star, John Olson, music store owner. And I, Forrest Rain, will be your narrator, as well as playing Lynn Olson, the Mater D, Rarity, and Princess Celestia. This is Project Sunflower by Hoopie McGee. Real quick, right before I start, how bad is the fan noise right now? Because I can turn it off.
What fan noise?
All right, cool. We'll continue on then. Project Sunflower by Hoopy McGee, Chapter 28, The Calm Before the Storm. Erin smiled proudly at her parents as they stepped through the gateway after only the briefest of hesitations, eyes wide as they looked around the gateway building on the equestrian side of things. Her father looked warily at the pair of matching armored unicorns on either side of the gate, who gazed back at him with implacable expressions.
Hi.
Erin trotted up to the reception desk. The unicorn stallion behind the desk looked up and smiled at her.
Good afternoon, Erin. Bring some guests over?
Yep, these are my parents, actually.
Oh, indeed.
The stallion got up and trotted around the desk, looking with interest at the couple who were clinging to each other and smiling nervously.
It's a very great pleasure to meet you. My name is Evening Star, and I'm part of the Royal Equestrian Ambassadorial staff.
He held out a hoof, which her father stared at with mild confusion. Erin, gesturing frantically from behind the unicorn's back, managed to convey to him that he should shake it, which he did. Lynn, giggling faintly, shook the hoof as well when it was presented to her.
Ordinarily, we don't allow civilians to come through without approval from either our ambassadorial staff or yours. But since you know Erin, I'll let you straight through.
Evening Star smiled gently at the nervous humans before turning back to his desk. A few seconds later, 2 stamped passbooks were floated back to the humans, whose eyes were nearly bugging out of their heads to see the actual telekinesis in action.
Go on, guys. Take them. It's just simple levitation. Unicorns do it all the time here.
John reached out, putting his hand on the glowing object, almost as if he expected it to be burned. When no harm came to him, Lynn reached out with more confidence and took her own. Erin managed to not roll her eyes at the display. She hadn't been much better about magic when she first come here, so she really couldn't blame them for their wariness. Erin thanked the receptionist before leading her parents out into the gardens. Oh, it's so cold.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot we'd have to go outside. I should have had you bring your jackets.
It's not a problem. We're Minnesotans. It's no big deal.
Right, Dad. Anyways, let's get inside the castle. It's much warmer in there.
They moved quickly, though her parents still managed a considerable amount of rubbernecking while making their way to the nearest door. The stallions on guard let them pass through without a comment. Oh, that's much better.
Wow. So this is an actual castle.
Yeah, Dad, this is Canterlot Castle, the seat of the... Tongue, work with me. Yeah, Dad, this is Canterlot Castle, the seat of the government and where the princesses live.
Do you suppose we can meet the princesses?
I don't know, Mom. It's pretty much up to them if they want to come and meet you. They're really busy right now, and I hate to impose on their time.
I understand.
Well, if nothing else, I can introduce you to most of my pony friends who are staying here in the castle right now.
We already met Pinkie Pie and Twilight, Twinkle?
Sparkle.
Oh yes, sorry.
It's okay, Dad. Just call her Twilight. Every pony does.
Every pony?
Yep!
With that, Erin started her brief tour of the castle, which also helped to underscore for her how... I have CMC disease tonight. Which also helped to underscore for her how much about the castle she herself did know. They looked at statuaries and tapestries, art galleries, and indoor fountains. The castle staff completely ignored the humans in their midst, having long since gotten used to wandering bipeds. The same couldn't be said of the humans, though, as they stared after every pony that wandered by, sometimes to the extent that Erin would have to remind them to not be rude. They were walking down a hallway, looking at some beautiful stained glass windows, when Lynn's stomach growled loudly enough to echo slightly. Her mother blushed a bright red, and Erin stuffed a hoof in her muzzle to stop the giggles. John decided to try and take the fall for his blushing bride.
I must be really hungry.
Sure, Dad. Let's head to the dining hall, see if they have room for us.
The Canterlot dining hall was a separate affair from the standard cafeteria where the staff and workers ate. The dining hall was more for the upper crust of Canterlot society and foreign dignitaries. Erin was really hoping they'd be allowed in, though she was mentally preparing for being told that there was currently no room. The maitre d' looked over them with a critical eye, sniffed, and instructed a waiter to bring them to a table. Erin joined her parents in looking around with wonder. While Erin had eaten here once before in the company of Rarity and Twilight Sparkle, it was just as impressive and overwhelming as ever. The dining hall seemed to be almost a cathedral in appearance, a large circular room with a high vaulted ceiling, from which dangled several large and fancy candelabras. Delicately carved columns etched with gold and silver were spaced around the edge of the room and supported a second floor balcony, which circled the entire room. Flights of stairs, spaced evenly around the circumference of the circle, led to the balcony level, which was much more secluded and intimate, where the elite of the elite would eat. And one level higher and on opposite ends of the room were the princesses' private dining areas, where the royals would entertain their personal guests away from the prying eyes and ears of the upwardly inclined Canterlot socialites. Judging by the stiff attitude of the waiter, Erin and her parents just barely rated a not at all secluded table towards the middle of the main room, somewhat near the kitchens. Still, Erin wasn't going to complain, considering that she wasn't at all sure she would be able to get in the first place. It was worth it, as her parents were completely overwhelmed. The ponies had adapted to humans eating with ponies. The table that they were brought to featured both normal chairs for humans to sit in and a high bench for Erin to park herself on, allowing her to sit at the table comfortably. Though the arrangement still left the top of her head well below her parents' eye levels. It almost made her feel like a little kid again. It's very nice. Erin smiled, enjoying the look of childlike wonder on her parents' faces. Menus were brought out, and much dithering over choices was made. Her father, always a man of simple tastes, grumbled slightly about the lack of cheeseburgers on the menu, but in the end settled on a pasta dish. Lynn opted for a main course of cream soup with vegetables, along with eggplant parmesan. Erin opted for a salad. They made a conversation while waiting for the food, and that's when Erin decided to drop the first bomb. She braced herself for the fireworks she was sure would happen when she made her confession.
Mom, Dad, there's a couple of things I need to talk to you about, okay?
Noting the serious tone in her voice, her parents gave her their undivided attention.
Okay, what's up, kiddo?
Well, the first is this, and this is highly confidential, but the ponies are going to try and stop the black tide again tomorrow evening, and I'm going to be there.
There was a dangerous moment of silence before John drew every glance in the room with a loud,
What?
Dad?
Erin glanced around at the disapproving stares of the Canterlot elite. Why? Why would you go anywhere near that thing?
Because my friends will be there. They're the bearers of the elements of harmony, remember?
But why you?
Erin considered what she was going to say for a moment, and then answered carefully.
The first time the ponies tried this, Celestia attacked it directly, and actually made some good progress before the tide counterattacked. This time, some pony else is going to try a more indirect attack, I guess? My friends are going because the elements might be needed to save the day. I'm going because I can't allow my friends to go into danger for my sake and not be there.
Okay, I get that, but...
It's going to be safer this time, we expect. First, only one certain pony will be approaching the tide. My friends and I will be back by the gate, ready to retreat to Equestria if things go really bad. We'll have both princesses there, determined to keep us all safe. Honestly, Mom, Dad, I will be fine.
The married couple looked at each other for a long while, holding each other's hands.
Well, if you're going, we're going.
What? No, Dad, there's no point to you being there.
We have all the same reasons you do. If you're going into danger, then we're going too.
Look, Dad. Okay, look. Do you both promise to keep this next part a complete secret?
Her parents glanced at her warily, but gave their promise.
Princess Celestia has a mission for me. If things go wrong, not that anyone expects that it will, then it's my job to get Twilight Sparkle and her friends back through the gateway, using any means I can. Even if it's against their will, Celestia made me promise. If you go, well, that will be just 2 more people I need to protect.
She looked up at them, hoping they would understand.
I need you to trust me on this. We're doing everything we can to be safe, even going so far as to take almost ridiculous precautions. I'll be fine, but I need you to stay in the Harmonics compound. Maggie will have the whole thing on video so you can see what's going on, and if I need your help, I'll just be a quick jog across the garden to the second gateway.
Her parents turned to each other and began whispering an animated discussion that Erin pretended that she couldn't easily overhear. After a few minutes, her father turned to her with somewhat bad grace.
Fine. But at the first sign of trouble, we're going through the gateway and coming for you. And heaven help any pony or human guard that gets in my way.
Thanks, Dad.
She took a bread roll out of the basket on the table and placed it on the plate in front of her, fiddling with it nervously.
There's something else, but keep in mind that it's just something I'm thinking about. I haven't made up my mind on this yet.
What's that, sweetie?
Well, I feel bad about not telling you about becoming a pony in the first place.
We've forgiven you for that, Erin.
I know, but that's why I wanted to come out and just say this right away, so I'm not doing it behind your backs again.
The married couple looked at each other warily, and then back to Erin.
Okay, let's hear it.
Erin cleared her throat and focused briefly on the bread roll she was nervously batting back and forth between her hooves.
Okay, well, I haven't totally made up my mind yet, but a while ago, I decided that I wanted to stay in Ponyville and study magic. I wanted to figure out what it was and how it worked. That means I'll be getting a house there and probably getting a job there too, to support myself while I work on my studies.
Well, I think we can get behind that. We're all moving to this world, after all, and I'm sure we can visit.
That's not all, Dad. Studying magic is going to be really tricky if I can't actually do magic myself. I mean, sure, there's a lot I can learn just through testing and observation, but if I really want to study magic, I'll probably have to stay a pony.
Her parents stared at her blankly for a moment. But you said you were changing back. You said you would.
I know, and I still will, once the Ascent labs are fixed, well, I'll eventually need to change into an actual equestrian pony so I can use whatever the energy is that they call magic then, when I want to study it.
You can't use this magic now?
No, I'm not really a pony, or not really an equestrian pony, at least. I just look like one. Some of the things they can do, Dad, unicorns can levitate things and teleport. Earth ponies can make things grow faster, healthier, and stronger than naturally possible. And Pegasi can fly, Dad. They can fly.
Her mother was crying. Erin was upset to see. Not bawling, just sniffling and with a few tears. Erin mentally kicked herself for bringing this up here, in public. She really should have waited until she could tell them in a more private area. I haven't even gotten used to you being a pony in the first place, and And now you're saying that you're going to stay like that? John looked grim, staring at the tablecloth and swirling the water around in his glass.
I'm gonna change back for a while first. Honestly, I miss being human. I've almost forgotten what it's like. So I'll spend a while as a human, then come back to Ponyville as, I don't know, one of the kinds of ponies, I guess. Whichever one I want to study first.
There was more awkward silence around the table, which Aaron broke.
Look, I haven't completely made up my mind yet. I may change it again before all is said and done. I really want to change back the first chance I get, and we'll probably have to. And we'll probably have evacuated the Earth before I get a chance to change again, assuming they even let me. So it could be months or even years before I could change from a human back into a pony.
She looked up into her parents' faces, smiling weakly.
Besides, I may end up changing my mind and deciding to either do something else with my life or to study magic by observation rather than through first-hand experience.
You can't study magic firsthand. Ponies have hooves.
Her father stared back at her, completely expressionless, and then suddenly grinned, eyes twinkling. Erin snorted with unexpected laughter, clapping her hooves over her muzzle, keenly aware of the disapproving glances at the nearby tables. Lynn had her hand up to her mouth in a gesture startlingly similar to her daughter's, trying to keep her own giggles at bay. Erin waggled her hooves at them.
Dad, hooves?
That did it. The tension broke as the table erupted with very uncouth laughter, ceasing only when a ring of disapproving waiters materialized from nowhere and simply frowned the giggles into extinction before moving off again.
Well, what a stuck-up bunch, aren't they?
Well, we're in the snootiest of snooty places. I probably should have brought you to the cafeteria instead. It's much more casual.
We'll behave. A minute or so passed as everyone mulled things over. So, you're really planning on staying human for at least a little while?
Yep, I kind of miss having fingers, to be honest.
Thumbs are nice, too.
And if you do turn into a pony, you absolutely promise you'll turn back into a human eventually?
That's the plan, Mom. I like being a pony, but, well, I'm a human. I'll always consider myself to be human.
That's good, because I want some grandbabies out of you, and they'd better not have hoofses. The previously banished giggles almost made a comeback before they were able to clamp down on them. Nobody wanted a repeat appearance of the omnipresent disapproving waitstaff.
Well, I don't know. There was a nice stallion back in Ponyville named Lucky who said he wanted to ask me out.
Lynn groaned and shuddered with mock horror.
Lucky was his name, or Lucky was what he was expecting to get?
Aaron gaped at him in pure shock.
Dad! You!
John, that is your daughter. John chuckled as he unsuccessfully tried to dodge a hoof-hurled bread roll. Not even the ring of scowling waiters was able to dull the laughter at table 27 that time. The maitre d' looked over at them, rolling his eyes. Tourists. The credits started up, and the ponies slumped back to their seats, emotionally exhausted. The animation in that last movie wasn't as softly animated as the Ghibli ones, but it was much more real and had a definite charm of its own. Fluttershy was behind the couch, crying gently, though not with fear. The end of the movie had been slightly sad, but even more hopeful, and the sensitive Pegasus had honestly been quite touched. Twilight herself was feeling emotionally drained, just a little. Her notepad was on the small table next to her, completely forgotten about as the film had gone on, though she had managed to write down several pages of notes before her attention was inexorably linked to the movie.
Wait a minute. Did he say some places have ponies as pets?
I just figured they mean ponies from Earth. They ain't too bright according to what Aaron said. Yeah, but...
Girls, please. I'm trying to read the credits.
Grumbling ensued from Dasha's beanbag, lapsing into a silence that lasted almost half a minute.
Man, that was epic though. They took down a huge dragon just by being faster.
Rainbow Dash stood up, flexing her wings.
It's like I always say, speed is the most important factor in flying. Toothless was also pretty agile. The only time I ever saw him run into anything was when Hiccup steered him wrong, or when his tail was messed up. Unlike a certain Pegasus I ain't gonna name who knocked off half the shingles on the south side of the roof. That was an accident. God, how many times do I have to say it? It was a freak downdraft out of nowhere.
Twilight sighed and gave up, reading the credits as the two friends bickered.
Are you okay, Fluttershy? It got a little scary near the end there.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Twilight. It was scary, but it was also very exciting. I think it helped knowing that none of it was actually real.
Twilight was about to answer her when the door to their shared common area opened up, and Aaron walked in, wearing an unexpected dress and sporting a braid, with two familiar humans trailing behind her. Fluttershy eeped slightly and maneuvered to put the couch between her and them.
Aaron! You've made up with your parents!
Hi, Twilight. Yeah, we had a long talk about it earlier today. Everyone, I'd like you to meet my parents, John and Lynn Olson. Mom and Dad, these are my friends. I've already met Twilight Sparkle and Pinkie Pie, but there's also Applejack.
Well, howdy, folks. It's a pleasure to meet your acquaintance.
John gave her hoof a vigorous shake.
Nice to meet you too. Erin tells me that you were her first friend in Equestria?
Oh, gosh. I never thought of it that way, but I reckon it's true.
Thanks for being so nice to her. It sounds like you really made things a lot easier for her.
Oh, shucks. 'Tweren't nothing. I wouldn't do anything for a pony who didn't seem lost.
And here's Rainbow Dash, the second pony I met in Equestria.
Nice to meet you, Rainbow Dash.
John shook her hoof as well. Your mane is amazing.
It's nice meeting you guys, too. Thanks. It's pretty awesome.
This is Rarity, who made my dress. She owns a shop in Ponyville called Carousel Boutique.
Absolutely charmed to meet you. Rarity held out her hoof daintily. John took the hint and shook it gently compared to the more vigorous hoof shakes from AJ and Rainbow Dash. Same here. You did a wonderful job on that dress. And your mane is simply gorgeous. How do you get it to stay so bouncy? Oh, it's a little bit of work, and I have several specialized hair products I import from Manhattan, but I think the result is worth it.
And Fluttershy is...
Erin glanced around, smiling as she spotted a tuft of mane over the top of the sofa.
Fluttershy is apparently hiding behind the couch. She's a little bit shy, but she's wonderful with animals. I've never seen anything like it.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Fluttershy.
The couch squeaked in reply. Me too. I like animals too. I always wanted to be a veterinarian when I was younger, but I didn't have the stomach for it. A pair of teal eyes peeked over the arm of the couch, and a quiet voice spoke.
What does your stomach have to do with taking care of animals?
I only meant that, well, the thought of animals being hurt or sick made me so sad I couldn't bear it. It's the same reason I couldn't be a doctor.
Oh, I thought you meant you ate injured animals.
Everyone stared at Fluttershy for a minute, and then Lynn burst out laughing. Oh, no. I love little animals. I volunteer at the Humane Society sometimes, just to help them take care of them.
Humane Society?
It's a place that takes in lost, abandoned, or mistreated pets. They put them up for adoption to loving homes. All the pets we've ever had were adopted from them.
Oh, Oh, that's wonderful.
Fluttershy's head appeared fully over the edge of the couch.
Humans have places like that?
Oh, yes. And it's so nice to be able to go there to help take care of the puppies and kittens and rabbits and the like. Fluttershy's eyes grew wide at that, and she smiled widely, walking slowly around the side of the couch so the humans could see her.
So, what were you guys watching?
How to Train Your Dragon. If I could, I would like to get these notes to the makers of that film. I think they'd benefit greatly from my suggestions regarding the anatomical inaccuracies of the dragons in the film.
Rainbow Dash groaned, and Aaron just looked at her in amazement before giggling.
Well, if you want me to, I can try to send them your notes. That movie is older than my dad, though.
Hey!
So I'm pretty sure anyone who animated is long since retired.
Let me get this straight. You have all these wonderful pony friends in a magical land with real dragons and magic, and you're showing them your old collection of classic animation?
Yes?
You never change. You and your father are the biggest animation geeks ever.
Hey, that's why I'm going to be the cool aunt when my nieces and nephews get old enough.
Twilight smiled as the family bickered. This was a side of Erin she'd never seen before, and she reflected on how interesting it was to see her friends in the light of their relationship with their parents. The pony friends invited Erin's parents to sit and talk with them for dinner, though it turned out that they'd already eaten. Still, they were happy to sit around the table with them while Twilight and her friends ate. John even helped himself to some of the room service that was brought up for the others.
The food was incredible, but the portion sizes were tiny.
You can't be all that stuffy when if you're stuffed.
Twilight noted that John seemed to be hitting it off pretty well with Rainbow Dash and Applejack, while the Pegasus filling him in on some of their adventures. With the Pegasi filling them in on some of their adventures, while Lynn spent a lot of time talking to Fluttershy and Rarity. Amazingly enough, the human woman had also somehow managed to convince Fluttershy, of all ponies, to let her braid her mane. Fluttershy, blushing furiously as her mane was fashioned into a French braid, talked animatedly about the animals she cared for. Rarity interjected with the occasional question about human fashions and style trends. Somehow, Lynn managed to juggle both of these conversations without shorting either pony for attention. Pinkie Pie bounced from group to group, adding the occasional non sequitur or asking the occasional random question. Aaron came up beside her.
It's good to see them getting along.
Twilight smiled at her and nudged her with a shoulder.
I bet you're glad to be able to talk to them again.
Aaron nodded.
Yeah, you guys are right. It's an incredible load off my mind to have them now.
Are you going to tell your brothers too?
Not a good idea right now, Mom. They'd both be in the same boat as you. And they have little kids to think of.
I suppose. I was just hoping we could get the whole family together for Thanksgiving. It might be our last one on Earth.
I didn't think of that. Sorry, Mom.
Well, as long as we can all watch the game, I'll be happy.
What's Thanksgiving?
What game?
Football! The Vikings are playing. I have to see it.
Whoa, Vikings are real?
Fluttershy's eyes widened in alarm.
I thought they were just made up in that movie.
What? No. Vikings were real. Heck, I'm a Viking.
Cool.
Fluttershy, eyeing the bearded man warily, edged away from him as far as she could go, with Lynn still braiding her hair.
Dad, you're not a Viking.
Erin rolled her eyes. She then turned to address Fluttershy in a soothing voice.
Vikings haven't really existed for centuries. They came from Norway, and that's where my family came from originally too. There's lots of Norwegians in Minnesota, so we call our football team the Vikings to remember them by.
Oh, okay.
Lynn patted Fluttershy comfortingly on the head and then tied off the braid with a red ribbon that Rarity provided her. How about you, Applejack? You look simply lovely with a braid.
Uh, well, thank you kindly, but
Oh, go on, Applejack. You wouldn't want to be rude to our guests, would you?
well, fine. I reckon it'll be okay. I reckon y'all will be letting her do the same to your maid when it's your turn then.
Rarity gasped slightly and then started to make excuses, but the look on Lynn's face apparently convinced her to give in and agree with poorly concealed reluctance.
Totally worth it.
Tongue, work with me. My mom loves playing with hair. It always bugged her that I preferred my hair shorter. The fact that you guys are ponies doesn't hurt either.
Oh, do mine next. I'd love to have you braid my mane.
I'll give it a shot, dear. Do you have a brush or comb?
I'll go get one.
Pinky darted off. Twilight leaned over to whisper into Aaron's ear.
What are the odds of me getting through the night without my mane in a braid?
Practically zero, I'm afraid.
I was afraid you were going to say that.
Maggie looked up as Aaron came back through the gateway with her parents. She watched as they talked for a short while, and then Aaron hugged first her mother, then her father. The couple waved at Aaron, who waved back before turning and coming directly towards her office, rather like Maggie had expected she would. She put a smile on her face and went to open the door for her as she walked in.
Hey, Maggie. Working late, I see?
Ah, hello, Erin. Yes, it's been busy arranging security for the shopping trip tomorrow morning. You're still willing to go?
Aaron looked distinctly uncomfortable for a moment, and Maggie was momentarily afraid she'd back out of it.
Sure. I can go.
Excellent. How did Canterlot go with your folks?
Oh, it was wonderful. They loved the food. They'll probably never be allowed back in the dining hall without one of the princesses vouching for us. And they met the rest of my friends there. My mom braided everyone's mane, except for Rainbow Dash. She even managed Pinky's somehow.
Well, I'd love to see that.
Mom invited everyone to an impromptu vegetarian Thanksgiving dinner over here next week, though I don't think she really thought it through. I'm not sure where every pony is going to fit, and my dad asked Rainbow Dash and Applejack to watch the game with them.
The game? Oh, football, right?
Yeah, one thing came up though.
What's that?
I may have let slip that Lyra was working for Project Harmonix now,
And?
and I may have just happened to mention a certain shopping trip in front of several ponies that really, really want to see the Earth, and we're hoping I could clear it with you.
Well, I can't clear that myself. I'll have to talk to my superiors. We'll need a lot more security if we don't want it to turn into a circus. It will probably turn into a circus anyway. All of them want to go shopping with you?
Well, not Fluttershy. She wants to go see the Humane Society. Rarity said she'd go with her.
Maggie groaned inwardly, but outwardly she smiled thinly, knowing she'd have a few more calls to make before she managed to get to bed.
I'll see what I can do. Maybe we can put the trip off until a later date?
Well, it's either go shopping or sit in my room all day, brooding about what may or may not happen in China tomorrow evening. Oh, what a night. I better get to bed. Night, Maggie.
Maggie hesitated, caught between telling Erin what was in the report and letting it set for one more night. She made a decision.
You have a good night and sleep well. You have a big day tomorrow.
Erin waved and wandered down the hallway to her bedroom. Maggie sighed, rubbing at her temples wearily. She rationalized her decision to not tell Erin her suspicions about Malachite as a way to let the poor girl get some much-needed rest before the very busy day tomorrow. But she knew it for the lie of omission that it was. When it came right down to it, Erin already had more than enough reason to be afraid of the alien monster. Maggie desperately wanted to avoid giving her any more reason to worry. With another deep sigh, Maggie picked up the phone to call the head of Harmonic Security to inform him of the change of plans. Rockwell was a small town about 30 miles from Boulder, a nice place for people to stop on their way to more scenic locations. It sported several antique stores, a couple of strip malls, a small movie complex, and a florist. If you drove a mile outside of town to the north, you'd find a Walmart. To the south, you'd find a Target store. On the main drag of town, a road cleverly called Main Street, there could be found a very tiny bookstore called the Dust Jacket. It sold both new and used books, though the latter greatly outnumbered the former. The only person in the store was the clerk, who also happened to be the owner of the store. He was the owner by default rather than by choice, as it hadn't been his idea to open the store. It had been his father's idea, back when print media was still a pretty big deal. These days, the only places that successfully sold print books were either online or in the large brick-and-mortar stores in major cities, preferably with a university nearby. The clerk, owner, a middle-aged man whose name was James, leaned against the counter dispiritedly. Not a single customer had come in so far today. Granted, he'd only been open for about 2 hours, but it was a disturbingly common trend. He'd had maybe 10 customers the entire week so far, who'd made him a grand total of $80 in sales. That $80 was just about enough to buy his groceries. It was not, however, enough to pay for any of the utilities it took to run the store, and it wasn't even a patch on this month's taxes. Luckily, the building was in his name, so he didn't have to worry about being evicted. James helped himself to some of the free coffee he kept out for his customers, of which there was currently a distressing lack. He sipped his coffee as he returned to the counter, thinking that this was it. He was really going to just finally sell the building. He'd sell what books he could at a massive discount, donate as much as he could for a tax write-off, and then just give himself a big old bonfire with the rest. It wasn't the first time he had had the thought, but this time he truly felt like he might be able to go through with it. As was his routine, he made a game of it. He decided that, if not a single customer came through the door in the next hour, then that was it. He'd sell and donate everything he could and burn the rest. 5 minutes later, he jumped up as the bell dinged at the front door. A man in a very conservative black suit walked in, glancing around intently.
Welcome to the Dust Jacket.
His excited greeting was cut short as the man held up a finger to indicate he wanted silence. James felt both confused and mildly offended. Money pit or not, this was still his store. Who did this guy think he was? The guy in question turned and stepped back outside, where James heard him say something to someone behind the door. What happened next earned him free drinks at the bar for the next several nights, as he related the story to the eager crowds wanting to lend him an ear. With a jaunty clop 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 sound, a tiny purple horse with a horn on its head came trotting into the store, followed quickly by another, a brown one without a horn. Then a green one with a horn again. Next came a hornless bright pink one, followed by an orange one with what looked to be a cowboy hat on its head. And finally, a rainbow-maned one with a pair of wings. Ponies, his brain informed him, finally catching up with today's current events.
Greetings, sir.
James gaped at the purple unicorn dumbly.
My name is Twilight Sparkle, and I am in the market for some Earth books. Do you have anything on history, or perhaps science?
History and science are both that way.
The unicorn thanked him and trotted off happily, chatting with the brown pony that had followed her in. Most of the other ponies split up and wandered the store randomly, except for the last two who had come in and loitered by the front desk.
Oh man, why do we have to come to a bookstore? They're boring.
Welcome to my life, little pony, James's beleaguered brain managed. The man in the suit, who'd followed the ponies in along with several other similarly dressed people, spoke up.
Sorry, ma'am. We have to keep you together.
Come on now, Rainbow Dash. Maybe you should give it a try. You liked Daring Do, didn't you?
I seriously thought they're gonna have anything like Daring Do in a place like this.
Stunned by the presence of equestrian ponies or not, that stung James right in the professional pride.
Hey, hey, now, give it a shot, why don't you? I have tons of books over here. Kind do you like?
The rainbow-maned pony snorted derisively.
Oh, I don't know. You got anything with an adventurous Pegasus who explores ancient tombs in the search of lost treasure while battling other forces of evil?
No. But we do have a pretty wide variety of action books. Come on, follow me.
He started leading the two away towards a shelf of paperbacks.
Whatever.
The one called Rainbow followed, hooves dragging.
She just started reading for fun not too long ago, and she gets bored pretty easily.
No? Then I think I have just the thing for her.
He turned and walked to a different part of the store, gesturing grandly with his arms.
Adventure galore!
What?
Rainbow looked at the display. She rolled her eyes.
Are these comic books? Those are for little kids.
Comics may be for little kids, but these are graphic novels. Give them a try, come on.
Fine.
The rainbow one pulled out a Spider-Man book completely at random. The orange one pulled out a Batman and began reading as well. 10 minutes later, they were arguing over who the better hero was. James returned to the register, grinning happily thanks to a job well done. Half an hour later, he made more sales to the 6 ponies than he had in the entire previous 3 months combined. Several credit cards were produced and several large bags were filled. The purple one, in particular, Twilight something or other, had purchased an impressive number of books on physics, chemistry, engineering, math, and geology.
Come on, we only have a few hours here and we still have a lot of stores to visit.
Pinky.
Megan, you're muted.
Again.
Wait,
Oh, internet died.
his internet died.
I get to pick the next one.
The others groaned. James watched them leave, still slightly stunned. The last one out was the man in the suit who had been the first one to enter. He nodded and waved jauntily at James as he left, the door jingling behind him as it closed. James pulled out his cell phone, kicking himself for not thinking of taking any pictures while the ponies were in here, but glad that his security cameras at least had caught some footage. At least, he hoped they had. He quickly dialed a number.
Hey, oh yeah, it's me. You will not believe what just happened here.
Several miles away, the local branch of the Humane Society of Colorado was playing host to a pair of ponies of their own. A timid yellow Pegasus, who was trying her best to hide behind her pink mane, and a white unicorn with a purple mane who was glancing warily at a nearby sleeping Persian. The clerk, more than a little intimidated by both the ponies and their human guards, looked at the pink maned pony before her and spoke.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Can I hug all the cats?
The normally sleepy town of Rockwell was coming alive in a big way. The locals had gotten there first, cameras out, milling around for any glimpse of the ponies. News vans came shortly after, and both competed with the locals and occasionally interviewed them. The local police had been informed that VIPs would be coming that morning, but were completely overwhelmed by the influx of civilians. They gave counterintuitive orders to try and restore what they considered peace, barking orders at cross purposes, sometimes sending a group of civilians one way only to have another officer brusquely order them back where they had come from. Surrounded by a bubble of dark-suited human security agents, the ponies were only vaguely aware of the chaos their presence was causing. And they were currently in the town's only music store, which had been Lyra's pick for where to shop next.
Oh, I mean Sunflower. Come and look at this.
Lyra pointed to an old guitar that was locked inside of a glass case. Erin shook her head at the unicorn's near flub. Using her human name was a strict no-no during this trip. She trotted over and looked at the guitar and gave a low whistle of appreciation. It was, according to the name inscribed on it, a Gibson Les Paul, and the tag on it mentioned it had been made about 70 years earlier. The wood glowed warmly under the mild display lights, and even Erin could tell that it was a high-quality instrument.
Wow, that looks really nice.
Do you think I should get it?
Lyra looked at the instrument with more than a little hunger in her eyes. Erin looked at the price tag, blanching in shock.
No. I think you need to save up for that one. It's more than you have right now.
Oh, I thought $2,000 was a lot of money.
It's a fair amount, but this guitar is old, and old things can cost a lot of money. Anyway, it's an electric, and you'd need to buy, a speaker thingy for it.
Speaker thingy? That's the official name?
Amplifier. We happen to have a few in stock.
Thanks, but I think we should continue looking for now.
Erin dragged the still fascinated Lyra away from the case.
Come on, there are other instruments here.
But that one looked so pretty.
Do you even know how to play guitar?
I can play a lyre. Honestly, how different can it be?
Pretty different, I think. Why don't you try on a less expensive guitar?
She indicated a $500 acoustic guitar, which Lyra levitated down to herself with a melodramatic sigh. The unicorn tried making music for a few minutes, frowning with concentration while her horn glowed and her magic plucked at the strings. She then looked back up at Erin with frustration in her eyes.
I thought it was to be easier than this. Why isn't it easier than this?
I don't know. Why not try a different instrument?
I think this one is defective.
I'll check it.
The employee took it. He played a few chords, then switched to a bluegrass song that Erin recognized but couldn't name, followed by some quick picking, all of which sounded simply fantastic, echoing from the thin wood of the guitar in warm, living tones. Lyra was staring at the guitar as he played, her mouth gaping open.
Seems okay to me.
Lyra took the instrument back in her hooves, looking at it with an appraising eye. Then she looked back at the clerk and said,
Teach me?
Erin left her to her lesson and wandered off, finding a giggling Twilight Sparkle playing an electric keyboard.
Listen, Sunflower, listen!
Twilight's horn glowed and a key depressed, producing a sound like a dog's bark. Twilight giggled again.
You can make all sorts of sounds with it.
She smiled at her friend as Twilight tried out some sample after sample on the keyboard, wondering if this would make a decent Christmas present for her. It probably all depended on whether or not Twilight's interest survived once they left the store.
Drum solo!
A voice shouted behind her, and Erin spun in place to see Rainbow Dash seated before a large drum set. The Pegasus raised her forelegs, and Erin was alarmed to see that she had a pair of drumsticks affixed to her hooves with thick rubber bands.
No!
She rushed forward just as the Pegasus began thrashing wildly at the drums, creating a cacophony that not even the most severely rhythm-impaired could consider music. When Dash noticed that she was the center of attention, she kicked it up a notch, flailing even more wildly in spite of Erin's entreaties to settle down. Customers, human and equine alike, gaped at the Rainbow Mane musical disaster in shock. Rainbow Dash's musical journey ended abruptly when she accidentally knocked over both of the cymbals simultaneously.
Oops, my bad.
Erin sighed as the owner walked up, frowning at the now dented cymbals on the floor.
Those are damaged. She'll have to pay for them.
Oh, I don't have any money.
I guess I'll pay for it.
Can I get this banjo too? I'll pay you back just as soon as I get some money, unless y'all take bits.
The owner shook his head, thus displaying a fine lack of understanding regarding how much money he would probably get for a real equestrian bits if he sold them on eBay. Erin sighed, reaching for the wallet that was hanging on a lanyard around her neck. Today was going to be a long day. Suddenly, she felt a chill run up her spine as she realized that something was very wrong. Something was missing. She looked around frantically.
Where the heck is Pinkie Pie?
Can I get, let's see, 1 banana split, no meat, 1 hot fudge sundae, hold the meat, 3 of those cookie ice cream sandwich things that you have over there without any meat, 2 of your ice cream cake filled cakes, provided that they have no meat in them, and do you have any cupcakes with an ice cream filling? No, only what you see on the menu. Okay then, I'll add a root beer float for now. Did you want meat in the root beer float?
The cashier spoke weakly, completely stunned and confused by the pink apparition before her.
I'd prefer not. Okay. That will be $46.87.
The pink creature in front of her slowly lost its grin.
Oh, shoot. I forgot about money. Well, cancel that order, I guess. Thanks anyway.
The pink thing turned away and trotted quickly out the door, leaving stunned clientele and employees staring after it.
Thanks. Come again soon.
The cashier then collapsed to the floor in a dead faint. The ponies walked out of AJ's pick for stores to visit, a humble hardware store, to find themselves surrounded by eager throngs of people, many of them parts of news crews, being held back by a protective ring of dark-suited security agents. Questions were shouted at them, but they'd been strictly instructed not to interact with the press, so the ponies kept to themselves, only smiling at the cameras. The exceptions were Lyra and Pinkie, both of whom waved and said hi enthusiastically to as many people as they could. They were finally shuffled back into the harmonics van that had brought them into town, finding their packages already loaded inside. The agents got into their vehicles, and the local police cleared a path for them through the crowds, which incidentally also helped stop the news vans from following them as they rocketed out of town. Erin sighed with relief, slumping deeper into the small padded couch that had been bolted down to the back of the van. She'd been hoping today would be distracting, and she'd definitely gotten her wish. The hours had passed by with a nerve-wrangling speed that she was sure she'd be revisiting in her nightmares soon enough. Around her, the ponies chattered animatedly about the day's events and the many interesting things they'd seen. Twilight already had out one of the books she'd bought and was reading it, grumbling every time the van bounced over some irregularity in the road. Lyra had her new guitar out, frowning with concentration while reading the beginner's guide that she'd also bought with it. Applejack's only purchase, besides the banjo, had been some tools and several boxes of what she called the straightest nails I ever did see. Rainbow Dash had a bag full of graphic novels that she was currently pretending didn't exist. Pinkie was currently playing with a set of dolls that she'd picked up from a toy store, and her manic curls were compressed under a baseball cap on which was stitched, "You don't have to be crazy to be me, but it helps." Erin shifted slightly, glad to be off of her aching hooves and desperately hoping that they'd have plenty of time to eat back at the Harmonics compound before heading to China. Hopefully, things were going well with Fluttershy and Rarity.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, but we have to go.
No.
Please, ma'am, we have a half-hour drive ahead of us, and we're supposed to be back in 25 minutes. I could get in serious trouble for this.
You can go, but I'm not leaving.
Darling, please. Rarity brushed her friend's mane with a hoof in consoling fashion.
You can come back and visit any time, really.
Fluttershy frowned and shook her head, hugging her forelegs tighter to her body.
Ma'am, please, for the love of God, put down the bunny rabbit and let's go!
Erin hugged her parents one last time, smiling and making more promises that she'd be okay. Her dad, holding her tightly, promised her that he'd come running if he thought she'd needed help. She hugged him back fiercely and told him,
Yes, I know. I'm counting on it.
She trotted through the gateway into Equestria, turning back to wave at those she left behind. Several of the staff waved back, along with her parents and Maggie. Lyra nodded somberly at her from the earth side of the gateway. She turned away from them, brushing a tear quickly away from her eye, and left the gateway building behind. Outside, in the chill air of the gardens, her friends all waited for her, each already wearing the specific piece of jewelry representing their element. Are we ready? Every pony there confirmed that they were, and the princess gave the signal to proceed. 24 royal guards, an even mix of each of the 3 pony types, marched through the gate to China first, shortly after which the grizzled Pegasus captain confirmed that things were safe on the far end. Princess Luna took the lead from Celestia, marching determinedly through the gateway, several magic-storing torques of various sizes around her neck. Celestia, also sporting a wide array of torques, entered next.
Well, this is it. Hopefully, things go a little better this time.
We've got each other. That's what matters.
Altogether, the friends stepped through the gate to confront the tide beyond.
And
Dun
that's that.
dun dun.
Woohoo! I get to lose my head.
Okay,
Yay.
so real quick, they said How to Train Your Dragon was older than Aaron's dad. How young is
Yes.
Aaron's dad?
Well, I mean, the
No.
year the story is set in the year 2038.
Oh, okay.
Set in the future.
Yeah, and you can tell that time frame by the age of the guitar, I'm guessing.
Not
Yeah,
really,
and the fact
because
that
there
all
are
the
currently
animators
70-year-old
were,
Gibsons.
Yeah, that and all the animators were retired, so it meant that it was a long time ago.
Well, in 2038, I'd only be 51, so.
In 2038, I'd be dead.
Here we are in the future.
Now, there was a picture drawn in the
Yes,
chat there. I saw it.
Commander's been
Yes,
beating me about this.
the flood.
Beating you upside the head about it?
Commander took a stick, sharpened it, and then put it to Winchester's throat and said, "You will."
Ah!
And then I grabbed my spear that is longer and then pointed at his throat. But then Commander grabbed
I can't
his
believe you actually put it
anti-material
up in the
rifle.
stream.
Yay!
Oh my god.
Okay, you guys made it very hard to read with a straight face for a good portion of this conversation.
That's why after I saw the shit posting talk, I just turned away and ignored it.
Forrest, we already know you don't do straight faces. That's not your shtick.
Yeah, gay faces.
Sorry,
are so
that
much
was
better.
that was my monologue where I caught Double R's disease and just everything was a tongue twister while reading Pinky's part as fast as I could.
Oh,
My
you know what that
fault.
means? Gotta start wearing a mask when.
No, I
reading.
thought that was my disease, where I just keep flubbing my tongue. Work with me.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
DMC
yeah,
disease.
What are you
disease.
talking about?
Oh, you think? Oh, you think Pinky's bad? Try puppy smiles. Jeez.
We should
And
get,
I
like,
think
and read some
Forrest
Puppy Smiles
enjoyed the.
lines.
I think Forrest enjoyed the couple that I posted in the chat there.
Yes.
Are you,
There is-
like,
there
no,
is
wait, I
some-
don't understand. Lycan, what are you accusing me of?
Who am I accusing?
What are you, me, Double R? What are you accusing me of?
He
Oh
confused-
no! It was CMC that had the tongue twisted disease.
I mean, come on, I can do that line easy. Do you want me to prove it?
No.
No.
Okay.
Oh, this'll be good.
Actually, let's hear it. Let's hear it. You do it. Do the line.
Oh no.
Do the line.
Where's my popcorn?
Can I get, let's see, one banana split, no meat, one hot fudge sundae, hold the meat, 3 of those ice cream sandwich things you have there without any meat, 2 of your ice cream cakes, provided that they have no meat in them, and do you have any cupcakes with ice cream filling?
There's
Okay,
only
then I'll
one
just add
flub.
on a root beer float.
Oh, okay.
Bravo.
So we're
Bravo.
so we're competing. Okay. Hi, can I get? Let's see. 1 banana split, no meat. 1 hot fudge sundae, hold the meat. 3 of those cookie ice cream sandwich things you have there without any meat. 2 of your ice cream cakes, provided they have no meat in them. And do you have any cupcakes with an ice cream filling?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's the
so-
cookie
so-
ice
so-
cream sandwich things that gets me.
Let me get
Run so
a
far,
number 5,
I like-
a number 9, a number
Number
9
nine.
large with
Yes.
extra cheese.
Cheese and a large sauce.
But where's the lamb sauce?
Okay, where did I leave my grenade? Okay, where did I leave my grenades? I need to air out this whole chat.
Please do.
By
I'm
the
ready
way-
for my end.
Also, Skywars, I'm
was
sorry for hurting your
enjoying-
feelings.
I was enjoying Wesley's Russian or whatever accent that is. I
Oh,
just
Vladimir
decided that
Pale.
eventually the accent is actually just Norwegian and he's actually just a Viking.
That actually hurt.
Voiced by Chris.
Fucking Wesley's over there like, yes, Aaron, I shall take you through the trials of men.
No, you want to know? You want to know what's scary?
What?
Chris counts as a Viking.
Yeah, that's true.
That's concerning.
So wait,
First,
if
you made me
Winchester's a
laugh.
Viking, does he have got one of those like Viking helmets and is
Yes.
horny?
Yes.
I mean, I
Yes.
do have a set of horns.
Yeah.
You're
They're
also
called
frequently
log and
horny.
herding.
Good to believe in gluten gluten.
Log and herding.
Give it to me, baby.
Wow.
Vargen.
Well, that was the show today.
That
Hope y'all
I
had a
feel
great
like
time.
next week's one, or whenever we do it, is going to be like really serious and lots of.
yeah, all of you are
Yeah,
banned
this-
except for Forrest. Bye.
Wait, why am I banned? What did I do?
That's not coming from a mile away.
Because the last
Next
time we
week,
tried to do
just-
something serious.
Next
I-
week, just remind me to close the chat. That way I'm not laughing while I'm delivering the serious
Oh my god, we
monologues
heard
or
you
Yeah.
serious
sniffling like
dialogue
every
for
second.
narration.
It was amazing.
Oh, yeah. Hydro lines, and by hydro lines, I mean electric powered lines, are super, super strong because they're actually aircraft cables. So, yes, they can actually suspend a truck.
Correct.
I know that for a fact. Long story short, I had an emergency one time where a semi truck got into a crash and the trailer was hung up in the lines.
Wasn't that right before? What was that? Wasn't that right before Winnie City?
Yes.
Yeah, because I remembered like driving by the crash site as I was going into town, and I was just like, "Geez, that sucks." And then I was like frantically trying to talk to you because we had matters to discuss.
Yeah.
I remember there was like a giant snowstorm this last winter. And there was, I don't remember what con it was. I don't think it was Winnie because I don't think I went to Winnie, but I went to some con or something. Yeah, it was a con. It was definitely a con. And there was just like friggin' trucks in ditches everywhere.
That
And I remember driving back like 3 or 4 days later and they were all still there.
that was Ciderfest because me and Tick were following behind you as you were going up.
Oh, right. Yeah, you were like a couple hours behind.
And like that, like half of them were cleaned up by the time we got there, and then the half that we saw that got cleaned up were apparently the only ones that got cleaned up.
Yep.
Because then you
That
and I
sounds
saw them
like
on our return trip.
Right.
But alrighty. Well, anyways, I'm sure there's a few people here that probably need to be getting to sleep or off to other things because, yes, they aren't trying to rest and recover from a month of hell. So,
Hi. Kill me.
I mean, if you kill me first, I mean, or we can rig up something to shoot each other at the same time.
No, I was thinking something a little more explosive. Or maybe incendiary.
Well, why don't we use some explosive incendiaries to just take us both out at once?
Oh yeah, you guys will have a blast.
Huh.
Okay, we're including
It
life
sounds
into
cuddly.
Team Rocket's blasting off again!
Sora, just to let you know, that image right there ain't stopping me.
Oh my god!
And on that bombshell, we are ending. So starting off, we will do first shout out for Sora.
Go back to me.
I killed her, guys.
Innocent Sora.
Hello?
Dum 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 dum.
Okay. My shout out is to Pizza Hut for making bomb ass pizza.
Hopefully you sent me one, because that would be really nice.
I
You're
would
not allowed
like
to send bomb on the
to.
mail, though. That joke? Okay, I'll go.
And speaking of bad jokes, liking your shout outs.
Now I'm just thinking about like pancakes and cream and like golden syrup and I'm sorry, I'm waffling.
Boo.
Delete this.
And next on to Cinder.
I think Panzerfausts because they get rid of lichens real good.
Are you sure?
I mean, okay, so they're better at interior decorating.
Like, and you got a Panzerfaust pun for us?
Yes, I've always liked girls with short skirts.
Alrighty. And
It
next
does
up-
take a bit of thinking to get that one, but it's actually a pun.
Congratulations, you killed the chat. Congrats.
Commander
I'm
something
so
shout
welcome.
out is to Discord's do not disturb function, which I wholeheartedly would agree with in his case. And next on to Forest Rain.
I like a girl with a short skirt and a long jacket.
Hey, stop flirting.
It's a song from when I was a little kid
Yep.
because I'm fucking old.
I
and-
almost
know that
left
one.
at
Fuck all
the
of you.
wrong
It's a good song.
time.
Somebody said
Alrighty.
short skirt. That's all I got.
She wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts.
No, you don't.
He's cheerer and I'm on the fuck what is that?
You remember that one, that version too? I'm so happy.
Rebecca used to sing that at me all the fucking time. She's cheerer and I'm on the fuck, what is it? I need to remember.
Alrighty. And while she's remembering, Double R, your shoutouts.
Sorry, I just found it.
wow.
Let me interject
Skyrim's
real
really-
quick. She's cheerer and I'm on the sits. That's sorry, I'm just gonna laugh quietly with my mic muted.
Shout outs to quality comedy material provided by ourselves. I mean, seriously, without these personalities, we'd be boring as hell.
Yeah, it's true.
Alrighty. And next on to Skyrays.
Look, I got nothing else to say, so just pass me up.
Pass him up!
Wow.
Pass him up inside! Can't pass up.
him up.
Can't pass up. Save me.
I'll crack out the goofy song. Wake me up. Wake me
Oh
up.
God, no!
inside.
Please,
Can't
no!
wake up.
No!
Wake me up inside.
Wake up!
Wake me
Wake up!
I can't wake up.
I regret everything.
And speaking of regretting everything, CMC shoutouts.
Okay, well, first I'm gonna have to say hello, Black Pony 3 in the YouTube chat. Sorry, but you caught us at the end, and the Twitch chat is full of fire.
Oh no.
So, shout outs to Fires, Explosions, Mufasa, Venison Jerky, Yellowy, Roan, I don't know, and why is there's another person in the YouTube chat coming right at the end.
I'm sad.
Yeah, we start at 8. That start at 9 o'clock Central U.S. time.
Actually, 8:45 anymore. I tell everybody we
Please,
start at
we
8:30,
both
so they're
know
actually
that's
here.
that's exaggeration.
The first 15 minutes is for gathering and breathing and braining.
It's when the funny
I'm putting out with my
happens.
puns.
So Skyrise.
Another person joining in the YouTube right at the. How are you all coming in right at the end? How?
It's okay. As
How?
soon as we end stream, though, you'll be able to start from the beginning and watch the whole thing.
All right, Winchester.
Yeah, they'll be able to go back and
Hey,
watch
Winchester.
the insanity that we've done.
Yes. Thank you all for showing up. Good God.
And one final shout out to my toilet, who is such a loyal friend. It takes all my shit, no matter what.
I don't trust your loyal friend.
Without further ado, Winchester is signing off.
Yes.
Yeah,
God,
I gotta go to bed.
yes. So,
No, seriously, I gotta get up at 5 in the morning now.
well, that fucking sucks.
You.
And 5 days a week now.
Welcome to working for the government.
I go to
That's
bed
Either
at
that
5 in the
or
morning.
3 to midnight, and of course, obviously, that meant I'd have to get rid of you, have to leave you guys, and I couldn't do that.
Skyrace, I love that picture. If
Anyways,
anyone doesn't know what it
good night.
is, it's an old school Roomba that
Now to find the song that I started finding and then I stopped. Why did I do that? There we go. Thank you all for showing up. It's been fun. This is Winchester 572 going 10-7. I'm out.